Hey, it's Beardy Mike here, and in this how-to, we're going to be taking a standard OBS transition, like this one, and turning it into something like this. So let's get started. To begin with, we'll need Davinci Resolve. I'm using version 16.2.1, and then later on we'll use FFMPEG, but we'll get to that in a moment. Future Mike here. I forgot to mention that I made the assets in Affinity Designer and Photoshop. There's another video on the channel explaining how to make those pieces. So in Davinci, I've already loaded in the things I'll need, the audio and the 4 items, and I've already set the project at 60 frames a second, the same with the timeline. So we're going to create a new fusion composition. Right click, new fusion composition. We'll call this one Stinger, and we'll set the time at 4 seconds, and we'll click create. Now we can double click this to jump straight into Fusion, the assets. So we'll put the 2 halves, the logo, and the background. So I click in this and press 1, or you can drag it onto the appropriate screen. I'll drag this onto 2, for instance, or on the keyboard, just press 2. Let's have that one. So we'll start by using a transform change. So I've chosen Media 1. I can use the transform shortcut here to immediately add it. Or we can click on this one and hold Shift and Space and search for transform, and you'll find it in the list there. Again, can click add on this. I use the shortcuts here just for easy sake. So we'll start at the very beginning, and we'll chuck down a keyframe to move it, and then we'll go to, say, the 60th frame, chuck down another keyframe, head back to the first one, and now we'll move this out of scene. Let's put this here, so it's just out of shot before it starts. Same with this one. We'll just bring it out of frame slightly, so it's just out of shot, like that. Chuck down a keyframe, go to the 60 point, chuck down another keyframe, and we'll set this back to 0.5, back in the middle. So now when they play, they slide into position and stop. We'll merge these two in a second as well. Once they have merged, we'll need to put these two in place so they sit on top of this, so we can do our animation, then we can hide it and split them apart again, so it's nice and easy. So now we know that at 60th frame they come together. I know that at that point these need to become visible. So we'll trim them in, area global in, global out, 60th frame, they're visible. So prior to that they won't be seen. And then we'll figure out when they'll need to disappear as well. So these have been together for a few seconds. This one rotate for, I'd like to say, another 60. Let's go with 10 frames of grace. So from there to there, another 10 seconds of grace. So at 140, it needs to disappear. 140. And the same with this one. At 140, it comes out of shot. So it only exists for a short time, but that's all we need of it. At least now we know this one as well, that at 140 they disappear. So from here, we'll chuck down 2 points. And again, we'll finish, let's say, it was 60 to leave, so we'll go to 200, because that's 60 to go out. Make 2 new points. And now at least, now for these, they'd be off screen. So we'll mark them back off of screen. And the same for this one, off screen. So left and right, from the very beginning, they slide together, the animation happens, and they slide apart. Nice and easy. So now let's merge these two together. We'll have this one as the background. Choose merge. We can see this is the background and this is the foreground. We'll drag this transform on top, and now they're merged. And if we play this, we'll see both parts come together and then slide apart. Fab, let's move this out of the way. We'll make another merge and another transform. So this is the logo that needs to spin. It comes in at the, here we are at this point, 60. So we'll add a transform to that. After 10 frames of grace, it will begin to spin to this point where it will stop spinning. So now we'll set this to, let's go 120. 0. Yeah, minus 120 I think would be good. Nice little spin. Yeah, perfect. Then 10 frames of grace, and it disappears. Or have I not set that? We'll see. Okay, so now we'll set these two together. Set this as the background, so we'll use that as a merge. Put this on top, and we'll do one final merge with, again, this as the background, and this as the, wrong one, merge, this as the foreground, and the output goes to output. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, so at this point, these two at the back aren't vanishing. Yeah, they aren't disappearing. Okay. We can set these to become blank, I believe. Let's set to here. That's a blur there. We'll use this blend. Yeah, we'll use that one to get rid of it. So the 140 mark, they begin moving apart. 1 frame before, 1 frame after. On this frame, it becomes invisible. And then the two slide apart, nice and easy. They come together, rotates, and they slide apart. Now what we will do is add some spline animation so they come together with a bit of speed and they slow together and meet. And we'll do that using the Spline tab. Up here we can see the various things we have. In this case we want transform 1 and transform 2. Transform 1 and transform 2. And then we'd want the rotation, which was transform 3 on angle. I'll make this a bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. This icon here pulls everything into view so we can see what we're up to. Let's have these points. High transform 3, high transform this. Choose here and here. That's smooth. Here and here. That's smooth. That's more like it. Same for this one. Here and here. Smooth. Here and here. Smooth. We'll do the same for angle 3 on the rotation, so it's nice and smooth. Go back and play. We should see them brush together. The rotation has a little bit of momentum to it, and then they whip apart. Perfect. So now this is done. Close the Spline tab, come back to the edit window, and plonk in the composition. Now I've also got some music to go with it, so I'll pop that in now. And before we render this, we need to blend these two together into a new compound clip. If we don't do this, the alpha layers, the transparency, won't be taken along with it, or there can be other issues when taking it into OBS. And when you want to come back and edit it, you'll need to decompose it. So I like to label them decompose me as a reminder how that's what I need to do. So those two are now linked together. And we'll quickly play it just to make sure it works. Perfect. So now we're ready to export. So we'll come down to the Deliver tab. We'll choose H264. Give the file a name. I'm going to call mine Stinger123. I've already chosen a location. We need to render as individual clips. QuickTime. The codec needs to be GoPro Cineform, and the type is RGB 16-bit, so that we can choose Export Alpha pre-multiplied. And we can add to the render queue. We'll now begin the export. It should only take a few seconds. It's quite a short clip. That's it done. We could bring this straight into OBS and it would work straight away, but as we'll find out when we get to it, the file is actually several hundred megabytes typically. We can see that it's 215 megabytes. And if you have RAM to spare, this isn't an issue, but most people have been running on like 8 to 12 gigabytes. We need to make sure we're using as little as possible, minimizing the footprint. So we'll take this, we'll right click, copy, and we'll now take it to our FFmpeg installation. Now I've put mine into the C drive just so it's nice and easy to get to. Once you're in, we're going to go to the bin folder and then paste in this video. Now I've already made a shortcut here that keeps the code I need to hand. This is in the video's description if you need it. So we'll keep that to the side, and I've set here that the video needs to be called flag.mp4, so we'll change this to stinger123 with a capital S. And it's a .mov file, .mov, and the output will be output.webm. We'll just stick that out of the way for now. So this is a command line application, so to get this working, we'll need to open up the command line editor, which is done by pressing the Windows key, typing in cmd, and then run as administrator. Click yes. So from here, we'll need to use cd for change directory, and then the directory of choice. Again, I have this set here, so I can copy and paste it in, save myself a little bit of time. And now we're in the right directory. We can now use the second line of code. Oh, I have this open twice, sorry. Second line of code, we'll copy that and bring it in. And this will begin taking the original file and transferring it. And I see this file name I had here was, I added these zeros. So I'll come back and try again. Depending on the length of your transition, this can take some time. Mine should only take a few seconds, hopefully about 30. But if you've got a several minutes long video, it could take quite a while. There is a GUI version of this. I have a separate video. I'll link that at the top. That goes over using the GUI version. This is a lot easier, but it takes a little bit more time. We'll come back when this is finished. So now we're in OBS, we're ready to import our stinger that we've made. So we'll go over here to the transitions and we'll add a new transition and we'll add a new stinger. We'll leave this called stinger for now. And we'll add a video file. We know that ours is kept on the C drive, in FFmpeg, in bin, and it was output.webm, open file. And we know that around the 130 mark, 130 frames, not milliseconds, that it will be completely covered and the scenes can change. We'll preview the transition. Perfect. Easy as that. Now when we change between scenes, we get our transition. And remember, you can make this as complicated or not as you like, as easy as you like. I've been the Beardy Mike. You'll find more videos on my YouTube channel, and I stream on Twitch every Monday and Friday, sometimes on the weekends. Feel free to follow me there. If you like this video, press the like button and do hit subscribe so you can keep on touch with all the videos as and when I make them. Thanks.